So we do have a social media ambassador program. So these are our ambassadors, which is another funding source because you do get a scholarship for participating in this program if you're interested. And so we do have six current graduate students in our social media ambassador project, and three of them are here with us today. So moving on to the panelists, can you please introduce yourself and share why you decided to pursue a graduate program in the College of Education? And I'm going to start off. I see Sam. Could you go first?
Definitely. Aloha, everyone. I'm Sam. I am a master's student in the Curriculum Studies Place-Based Education program, as well as in the Sustainability and Resilience Education Graduate Certificate program. Um, but my story actually starts in the College of Tropical Agriculture. My background was in natural resources and environmental management, and I really wanted to be an environmental education teacher. But when I started my academic career, there wasn't a perfect path for that environmental and education. Um, so while I was in CTAR, I would always take one extra class in College of Ed. And I would say, oh, I'm just going to take one more. I'm just going to take one more. And I fell in love with the College of Ed. And that's how I ended up here. Um, it's a wonderful program, and I've loved every single class that I've taken. Mahalo.
Mahalo, and we'll go to Kamaka.
Aloha, my name is Kumakaina Saip, and I'm in the Curriculum Studies STEM Squared program. It's yeah, I was first introduced to the program because I was actually a community partner. So in during the summer, the program reaches out to various community resources, and I was actually one of those resources. And part of the reason why I presented was because I had this project that I've been working on for a long time, and I thought like it would be great for people to like develop curriculum. And then after talking with the program director, I was like, wait, why don't I make the curriculum and school for it? So and it's been a great journey. Yep, but I think that's all.
All right, mahalo. And then Jewel.
Aloha, I'm Jewel. I am a sixth year doctoral student in the Learning Design and Technology program. I also did the Certificate in Online Learning and Teaching, the COLT program. I'm also a teacher, so I work full time at Kamehameha Schools. And I chose to do a doctoral program in learning design and technology because I feel like it perfectly incorporated like my passions, which was technology and education. So it was a perfect fit for me. And then coming back home to Hawaii and to go to UH was also a goal. So it all worked out for me, and that's how I ended up here.
All right, so next question. What has been the highlight of your graduate studies thus far? And we can either go in the same order or you guys can jump in. I'll leave that up to you.
We can keep it in order. Um, I think the highlight has been probably developing relationships with my professors. I briefly mentioned the coursework. Everything in the College of Ed, you can just feel how intentional it is, and your professors are so supportive. I felt like in other classes and other programs, if you get this like you're in college or you're in grad school, like good luck. But in College of Ed, they're like, how is this relevant to your life? How is this relevant to your experience as a teacher? And how can your time be used best to serve your students best? Um, and I just appreciate that so much because then my students get to benefit from it too.
So I think the highlight for me has over the summer, you have 3 weeks and you're with your cohort. You're actually like staying with them at different places. So we got to go to Mokoloe for, I want to say 3 days, and then we were on Maui for 5 days. And really the relationship that you build with your cohort, like I don't think I've laughed that much with my fellow cohort. And then also just kind of being in it was really validating for how I chose my career, I guess. Like had I just kind of fell in it. So it was just um yeah, so the summers were the best.
Yeah, I'll kind of agree with something that Kamaka Aina mentioned, like the connections, um, kind of really made the program for me and has been a highlight. My program is, mostly online. Um, so we started as a cohort, and of course, with our dissertations, we all kind of went in different directions and are on different timelines, but I still have like great connections with the um colleagues that I've made from that I've ha built relationships with from this program. And then just the opportunities that the College of Ed puts out there, like with the ambassadors. I've got to meet some really awesome people. I see Paige on this Zoom. So I also did the Hilinehu Educational Leadership Advancement Program, and I got to meet a lot of awesome people doing like really amazing things. And I would say those things are the best part.
Okay, so next question. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about pursuing a graduate program?
It would be to speak to one of the ambassadors. Um, I would recommend finding somebody who's already in that program, um, to kind of get that big brother, big sister, mentor, ask all the questions. It'll not only help you decide like if that program is the correct one, because maybe you're stuck between different options. There's so many amazing programs. Um, but they'll give you the little tips and tricks on what to do or how to be prepared, how to be organized. Yeah.
What's kind of lucky about my program is that this kind of mentor kaikaina kuana relationship is kind of factored into it. So there's an overlap with the previous cohort. So which is nice because definitely throughout the year I was like, or throughout the semester I was texting like, hello again. So, um, but because my program is an accelerated, I would highly recommend clearing everything as much as possible just to work on that program. Yeah, it's kind of hard because you don't really get a sense of like the workload is until you're kind of in it. You're like, whoa, this is a lot for a very short amount of time. So just keeping in mind that this is still a grad, it's 13 months, but still a graduate program. So really just clearing anything off your schedule that you don't have to, I guess.
I agree. I think it's important to make sure that this is what you want to do in this time period. Um, so for me, I went from being a full-time student in my master's to working full-time and then being a part-time student, which was a huge time commitment for me, that I might not have thought about when I was applying for the program, that it would be 6 years of my life. And I think, people have like the best intentions to like get it done real fast, but life kind of hits you a little hard and you're not expecting it. And I definitely wasn't expecting to be here for 6 years. Um, but I think make sure that this is something that you're willing to commit to fully and that you have that space in your life where you can fully invest in the program.
Great advice. Thank you. How about recommendations specifically for being successful in graduate school? So this is more like logistical tips, right? And how to do well in graduate school.
Awesome. Okay, I have two answers for this one. The first is funding. Apply to as many scholarships as possible, and don't be afraid to reach out specifically to department heads and professors, and outside organizations as well for funding. Um, and then my second one is choose a system to organize your readings immediately and stick to it. There's a lot of reading, and not only for your coursework, but for your research, whether it be a dissertation or a plan B. Um, but just that staying organized, it will serve you so well throughout the program, um, and beyond. So just pick one system that you love.
I would say uh, definitely building Pilino with your cohort because and relying on them for support. But then also there's a lot of journaling in our program and getting to the habit of regularly writing for that, I guess, is a big one. If you're not already a journaler, then because it also helps you kind of like look back on how much you've grown and how much you've learned. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say identify your priorities so that you can manage your time. Time management was definitely the hardest for me in the beginning, but just building up those habits of like writing every day um, and getting into the habit of, like I mentioned before, like investing your time into the program. And it really is kind of a lifestyle shift too. So I would say, yeah, making sure that your priorities are in order so that you can do everything you need to do.
Okay, great. How about Okay, so you kind of, some of you mentioned this, but finance is always a big thing. So I'll kind of shift this question. Do you know of any particular, funding sources that you might have accessed that somebody might want to also look into or, provide any additional insight on that?
Definitely. Um, so I did kind of a combination. I had a graduate assistantship when I worked on my first master's program. Um, I was also a substitute teacher. Then it allowed me to kind of pick and choose, you know, how many jobs I wanted to take. Um, and then the other great thing is that scholarships and grants can stack on top of your GA-ship. So if you do it right, you could get a tuition waiver and then get your scholarship refunded to you, which means everything to a grad student because then that is your books, that is your housing, that's your food. That's how you can make your grad school dreams come true. Because not all scholarships can be applied to other things and resources, but a good handful of them can. Um, and as you search for them, try to be creative. Pick things for your field. So for me, it would be environmental. There's ones for educators. There's one for your ethnic background. I even won one once from the high school that I graduated from. Um, so be creative in your search. And even if you don't think you're a perfect fit, still apply.
That was really good advice. I don't have nearly as much advice as that. I was fortunate my program has Nakupuna Foundation is can will fund select students. So I was able to get my schooling covered from that. Um, Besides that, join the social media ambassador program, and that's another source of funding. Yeah.
I agree, with Sam to just apply for everything and be on the lookout. I feel like the Learning Design and Technology program does a really good job of like sending out to our listserv like all these opportunities that come up within UH or outside. And that's been really helpful because through those emails, I found the Hili Nehu Educational Leadership Advancement Program, which funded like a huge chunk of my graduate degree. Um, I don't believe they're taking applications anymore, but those programs come up here and there. I also like entered the Go for Broke National Education Center essay contest, and like all these little things add up. I got a scholarship through the Cherry Blossom Festival, through Alpha Delta Kappa. Kamehameha Schools also pays for some of my courses. So I was more of like a bunch of little things. Um, and that worked out for me. So just be motivated to keep applying for those.